What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay. It's Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, man. I didn't drink yesterday. I'm not a drinker, but feeling a little under the weather. Got a sore throat, but I'm a warrior, man. We got to keep the show going here, Rob. What's up with you, brother? Let them know what you got going over there at Wager Talk.
Yeah, everything's good today, Jay. I did not even try, as I told you off air, to attempt to outdo what Andy Lang did on this show Friday with the old chalk clap from LeBron James. But yesterday was quite the game. Today at Wager Talk, $9 Monday for starters. So anybody who wants to wander on over to Wager Talk and get any handicappers play for $9. I happen to have two best bets up and available right now over there. So if you go to wagertalk.com, you can get those. Monday's always a $9 special. And, I was saying to you off air, Jay, it's a bigger card today, right? We only had two games yesterday off a big Saturday night card. And I think that this week we'll get to see all of these acquisitions, finally, every one of them in their starting lineup. Maybe not Ben Simmons, but the other ones should be at some point in time playing for their new teams.
Yeah, that's a good point. Except for James Harden, it did say he was going to be out through the All-Star break and sit out the All-Star game. But damn good points, Rob. Everybody's getting acclimated to their new team. I appreciate you mentioning as well as $9 Monday over there at Wager Talk, guys. Any packages, any plays, full play, any capper over there, you get their whole package for $9. Also, if you've never used the site, you can also use promo code J1 and get any packages for less than $1 over there. But Rob, it's all business here, guys. We straight to business, right? It's all business. So first game up, man, we're going to the streets of Washington, D.C., right? We got the Pistons here versus the Wizards, Rob. You got the Wizards here laying 4, somewhat of a down team so far. You do find a revenge spot. They lost 116-119 in overtime. And then Dinwiddie had 12 points. Bill had 25. Obviously, neither of those two over there. Wizards 0-6-1 against the spread last 7 as a home fade. They're also 0-8 against the spread last 8 home games versus a losing road team. Am I crazy for liking the Pistons here, Rob?
It's a which bad side of the coin do you want, right, Jake? Because the Pistons are 1-6 against the spread in their last 7, and the losses that they've had in those 6, 22, 25, 30, 13, 11, and 10, every one of them by double digits. So it's hard to get behind either one of these two teams, but I think there's value in the total here, Jay. 218.5 is what I'm seeing. Detroit in 3 of their last 4, 223, 239, 260. Their 3-point defense has been horrendous. If I could just run some numbers by you, 4 straight games where they've allowed 43% or better from beyond the arc. Now, Washington's not the best 3-point shooting team, but Corey Kispert and those guys have taken the shooting a few more now that this lineup's been kind of reconstructed. And sometimes the best elixir for bad shooting is even worse defense. So I could see the Wizards maybe scoring some here. Certainly think Detroit, which is totally healthy at this point. Cade Cunningham has returned. All their guys are in. Washington's defense hasn't been very good. The total in their last 3 games, 221, 225, 233. I think we're getting a bargain price on the total here at 218.5, just based on reputation of both of these teams being really bad.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like I said, I made a small bet on Pistons plus the 4. They aren't in that exactly full squad because they won't have Frank Jackson tonight. But you got guys like Kelly Olynyk coming off the bench. Cunningham, that's one thing. He had missed like 5 games, so I don't. They obviously they were getting smacked up without their best player and best facilitator, but they got him back out there. I think that the Wizards are in a downward tailspin. If you ask me, I'm not laying points with them. If they're a dog, then maybe. But I'd be looking towards taking the points with the Pistons here. Made a small play on Pistons plus the 4, but definitely not something huge in this one. But I do think that they could win this game here, Rob. Let's go over here to the streets of New York. We got the Thunder versus the Knicks here. Knicks laying 10, Rob. The line opened up at 8. We saw that Lou Dort was ruled out. And this is a revenge spot for the Knicks as well. They lost earlier this year to the Thunder. Do you think this is too many points with this being the first game back at the house versus for the Knicks? Do you think this is too many points for them to lay?
That would be the question, right? Not only is it the first game back off of a West Coast swing, but you're flying home from Portland and really only 1 day's rest. If you can say that, because East Coast, obviously, you lose 3 hours when you fly back home. So the Knicks could be a bit road weary. We see Nerlens Noel and Mitchell Robinson, both centers, as questionable for this game. They may go because these guys seemingly they pop up on the injured list almost every game, right? You see one of these two or sometimes both. So that's yet to be determined. If they aren't able to go, it kind of helps OKC, which is not strong at the center position. Derek Favors, I think, had a day of rest. He'll go here. They had to start Isaiah Roby the other night, kid from Nebraska, more of a power forward than a center. It would help Oklahoma City if, in fact, the Knicks centers are out here. And I think that Oklahoma City's just been a pest to teams on this road trip, Jay. Watched them against Philly, and maybe Philly was looking ahead to the Cleveland game the next night, possible. But boy, OKC was pesky, especially on the defensive end. And then they came back, and again, the Bulls didn't have Zach LaVine, but they were one more time a thorn in the Bulls' side. They couldn't really shake them until the very end. Kind of see the same thing happening here with the Knicks. I don't know if the Knicks will be as rested as they should be in this game. And just see Oklahoma City. Now, the problem here is no Lou Dort, right? Do you really want to take 8 points without Lou Dort? I think the main thing I would see in this game, Jay, and I'll point it out to your audience, guys who play props, Darius Baisley has been a monster prop-wise the last couple of days. He's so undervalued. I think points, rebounds, and assists, I hit it 2 nights in a row, were 20.5 for everything. Last game, he went well over 30. He's getting a bunch of rebounds. He's getting a bunch of run where a lot of OKC guys aren't getting the ton of minutes. I would say Baisley in the prop market, if you're playing out there, could be a real good play here tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point there. My people in chat saying can't spell thunder without the under here. I do believe RJ Barrett is still out as well. Like I say, it went to 10. It did go to 10 with the Lou Dort news. I think it's very telling, guys. If you really listen to the show, I tell you, the Thunder, when they don't necessarily want to win the game, they'll sit Lou Dort. They already set SG out through the All-Star break. So when you see Dort out for the Thunder, that means they're a bet against. It's simple. I don't want to lay this many points with the Knicks coming back from the first game off their road trip, but they did just come off a demoralizing loss after losing that big lead versus the Blazers over there. So the motivation should be there for the Knicks in theory. They should be able to smack these guys up. Like I say, Thunder without Dort are a bet against for me. So I lean to the Knicks. I didn't bet them at the -10, though, I must say. Let's go over here to the streets of Brooklyn real quick, Rob. We got the Kings versus the Nets, right? Nets on, 11-game losing streak. They did play the Heat tough. I was on the Nets plus the points in that one. I was really hoping they get Curry and Drummond back. They're going to be in today, Rob. Do you think that Seth Curry and Andre Drummond come in there and they kind of feed off their energy and finally get a home win, finally get a win, period, like I said, on the 11-game losing streak?
I think it really helps because you don't get Kyrie in a Brooklyn game, right? So now you have to make up for that. Seth Curry and Patty Mills together, who can be very explosive offensively. You're not going to get much in the way of defense, Jay. Boy, oh boy, you look at that Nets rotation 1 through 8. But aside from Andre Drummond, who can be a force underneath, there's just not a lot of defense against a Kings team that's totally revamped. And I was behind on Saturday night. I mean, they laid 3. They won comfortably in that game. Their offense is pretty tough to stop. And they're so deep now. When they go to the reserve second team, it's not like the scoring lets up with Sacramento right now. So they may have traded Tyrese Halliburton, who's he's already shown 25 and 16, I think yesterday, or 24 and 16. He's going to be a star. But getting Sabonis and the pieces that they got back, they really filled a lot of empty spots in that 1 through 10, 2-deep rotation. I don't see any reason, Jay, and the numbers reflect this. It's gone from 224 to 228 or 228.5, but I don't know where the defense is coming from in this game. Sacramento, Alvin Gentry, known for, let's just get up and down and let's score. And I think that's what's going to happen here. So my recommendation here would be Kings Nets over. I think it's probably a pretty safe play. And one more time, I'll mention this real quick, Jay. Last week we talked about closing in on the All-Star break. And I had said that I really look to play overs even more when the All-Star break is getting near, because these guys, some of them kind of check out. It's more offensive style than it is a lot of defense. And we've seen, and we're noticing these totals that are just getting higher and higher, posted by odds makers every day. And these teams are soaring over these types of totals. So I wouldn't be surprised if this one hits the 240 mark.
Yeah, the Kings offense has been playing very fluently. One thing though, I noticed they're actually starting to play a little bit of defense here. I actually see guys like De'Aaron Fox trying to play some defense on their side of the floor. The problem is this game is a stay away from me. Obviously, with Curry and Drummond going in there, it really throws a whole wrinkle into, like, when you look at everything that the Nets have been doing. Now they got a couple of players and one main player in the center that they really needed out there and some paint protection. So if they start Drummond and Curry here, maybe had a few practices. I don't know. It's a tough game for me, guys. I can see it going either way. The Kings are a buy-on team for me right now. Do I want to continuously lay points with them on the road? Not necessarily. You see this line come down from 4 to 2. That's sharp money on the Nets, guys. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the Nets will cover this game. It's a stay away from me, but I do see some scenarios where the Nets could be a feisty home dog here, just like the Kings. They got a couple players, may play with a new sense of energy here. It's a tough game for me. I'm definitely staying off this one. Rob, let's go over here to the streets of Milwaukee. We got the Bucks laying a big number. And I'll tell you this, I'm not taking the Blazers, but I do think there's something. What do you think about this, Rob? Taking the road dogs after the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? I look back at it. Last year, the road dogs or underdogs period went 6-2. The year before that, they went 6-4. But the year before that was basically 4-4. So, but as the years come on, you start to see we know it's a younger generation. People like to party. People like to eat a lot of food on Super Bowl Sunday. What do you think about some of these big home favorites being a little fat and happy, literally, after the Super Bowl?
And how about in Milwaukee's case, if you wanted to add to that, shorthanded? Because, they trade Dante DiVincenzo to Sacramento because they know that they have an overflow at the wing position. And as soon as they do that, Pat Connaughton breaks his hand. And now they're short, right? I'm looking up and down. I see Wesley Matthews and I see Grayson Allen. And then those 6'4" to 6'7" that they had so many of that could shoot the basketball. Not so much right now. They've been on an offensive, on fire offensively as of late. They got slowed down by Phoenix, who plays really, really good defense. To your point about the dog here, I would add on to the Portland side that all of a sudden we know, no matter what we think of their roster, Jay, they're going to give you effort. That come from behind effort in the fourth quarter Sunday. Was it Saturday? I think could easily check out in that game when you're down 20-something in the fourth quarter. And that wasn't the case. I think they outscored the Knicks 34, 36-11, something like that. So I think on Portland's side, if you bet them, you're going to get 48 minutes out of them, no matter what the names are on the jersey. These guys are going to play for you. And Milwaukee, as a 15-point favorite, 14.5-point favorite without Connaughton, and Giannis listed as probable. I don't know where that goes, but sometimes we see 15 minutes before tip-off, Giannis doesn't want to play. So I would surprise me. I'm not laying 15 with Milwaukee, I'll tell you that. And I think if you were going to play this game, I would look at the Portland side.
And you know why, guys? And this Blazers are nothing for me. The Bucks have a game tomorrow as well. It's not a huge game versus the Pacers, but it is the first game of a back-to-back. Like I say, with me in my research, I like to find these little anomalies. I like to think outside of the box how no one else is thinking. I think that some of these big favorites are a fade today. Is simple. They probably win the game, but asking them to go all out and win after everyone has their feet kicked up yesterday, eating hot wings, drinking beer with their families, right? Home teams were partying at the house with their families. Road teams probably in some hotel or somewhere watching the game. So I would favor the home teams, especially home dogs, guys. That's my message to you today. I'm favoring the home. I'm favoring the road underdogs here that's catching points. I'd lean Blazers here. Heavy lean Blazers for me, and I'm with you, Rob. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see maybe someone, we're not going to play, because they know that this is a Western Conference opponent, right? Meaningless game. Then you have an Eastern Conference opponent tomorrow. You just really see these guys maybe saving some energy and smack up the Pacers tomorrow, Rob. Let's go over here to the streets of New Orleans real quick. You got the Raptors that were red hot. They went to the house for a brief stint. Then they go back on the road here. The Pelicans been struggling at the house, really trying to implement CJ McCollum and the guys over there. It's a tough game for me, Rob. I know that the Pelicans will put it together at some point, but I'm not betting them today. Raptors are nothing for me.
Yeah, everything I started to like about the Pelicans recently, Jay, is going out the window, the two games that they've had CJ McCollum, right? We were talking last week, I think you and I together, about how they've been playing a whole bunch of unders, that the insertion of Jackson Hayes into that front line gave them a couple of 7-footers, and they were coming tougher defensively. CJ McCollum shows up, and they give up 118 points per game on average in the two games that he's played. And the other night against the Spurs, turnovers were a problem. The Spurs really chewed them up in transition. Not something that has happened to New Orleans a lot this year, but it happened in that game. And C.J. McCollum had 6 of those turnovers. As good as they're playing offensively, he had 36 in that game. Give them their credit. They're playing really good offensively. But defensively, San Antonio had 26 assists and only 5 turnovers. 5.2 is anybody who follows NBA assist to turnover ratio. You know, anything above 3 is really good. 5.2 is outrageous. They shot 50.5% from the field against New Orleans in that game. Spurs got out rebounded, didn't win the free throw line, and still won the game pretty comfortably. So to me, New Orleans is back in that kind of funk where they don't play defense. They're leaning more heavily offense. When you have Ingram, McCollum, Valanciunas, you're going to score. There's no question about it. But I don't know if they can defend the Raptors. And I'll tell you the truth, if they turn it over, Jay, in this game, we talked about it last week, Toronto's number 3 in the NBA in fast break points. I mean, they'll make you pay for that. They don't turn it over much. Fred VanVleet's a really good ball handler. And Pascal Siakam has been out of his mind over the course of the last 5 games. I think he's averaging like 29 points a game. He had 35 the other night. Real rebirth again of Pascal Siakam. So I think this game probably gets over. The Raptors were 8-0 against the spread until they lost the other day. Now 8-1. They're still red hot. I wouldn't bet against them at all.
Simple.
I think it's probably a little overvalued. Maybe the points are more than they should be. Should probably be around 2.5. But still, I'd be more comfortable on the Toronto side. I'm really comfortable watching New Orleans these 2 games with over.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. More offense and looks like it's less defense out there. This is a stay away game for me. Nothing super strong. I'm with you. I'm not betting against the Raptors for the foreseeable future here. And the Pelicans hadn't shown that they could put things together here. Let's go over here to the streets of Chicago. I had one in there I wasn't supposed to have, man. We got the Spurs here, +4 underdogs versus the Bulls here, Rob. I still had the Nuggets and Raptors game up, but Spurs versus the Bulls here, right? Do you liking something here? Do the Bulls? This is a revenge spot. The Spurs just beat them, man. I tell you, Rob, this Spurs team is. I'm not sure what they're on right now, but they're balling. DeJounte Murray is unstoppable, and you look at it. You get a revenge spot for the Bulls. Levine had 30 points in that last game, though. He's out tonight, right? So what are we doing here? I don't want to bet against the Spurs right now. I bet against them twice in a row. They took my money. This is one where they are the away dog as well. I heavy lean to Spurs plus the points for me here, Rob, especially with no Levine for the Bulls.
Yeah, you could make a lot of reasons not to like the Spurs, right? First of all, this is the rodeo road trip, right? So maybe there's better spots down the road to fade the Spurs during this. I think it's 8 or 9 games on the road. But this is 3rd and 4 nights. And generally, you and I would be saying, hey, 3rd and 4 nights against the Bulls would rest. We don't want the Spurs, but I'm with you. I mean, give Greg Popovich credit because this is not a normal Greg Popovich style team, but he's pretty much seen how they're constructed, and they're young, they're fast, they're athletic, and they're, I was reading a couple of quotes today, I think from Devin Vassell, the Florida State kid, and he said, you know what, we're all about getting in those passing lanes and getting out and running. And we just talked about what they did to New Orleans, right? They turned them over, got their points. Without Zach LaVine, it was, a tough haul for them to beat OKC the other night. So it's not going to get any easier with San Antonio here. That's for sure. The good news about 3rd and 4 nights with the Spurs, Jay, is that Greg Popovich all season long has dispersed minutes 1 through 9 real nicely. I mean, generally nobody plays over 30 on this team. They're all kind of even and interchangeable. I wouldn't be playing against the Spurs right now. I see this totals up around 234.5. I don't know that it gets up there, but the Spurs are much more run and score and work off of the defense than they are, methodical like they used to be. So I would say Spurs here is the way I would look.
It's a road dog catching points after Super Bowl Sunday. I know that the Bulls have revenge. DeRozan's one of the best players in the NBA. But guess what? When Levine's not out there, you hone in on you put all your focus or double team DeRozan and make the rest of the team beat you. That's the recipe to success. It's a little bit different when you have Levine and DeRozan out there, 2 dynamic scorers. Like I say, Spurs are playing great winning basketball right now. But Levine had 30 points in that last game. They still lost 131 to 131 to 122. So be interested to see what happens. Can they get some revenge? Me personally, I don't always take the revenge spot. This is one where I take the Spurs plus the 4. It's the only way that I can look in this game, Rob. Let's go over here to the streets of Denver here. We got the Nuggets laying 11 points. So look, Super Bowl Sunday is the second biggest eating day of the year, right? Jokic maybe he'll have a little big feast with his family. This is a revenge game, right? They lost to the Magic earlier this season. But do I want to take the Nuggets in their first game back at the house after a couple game road trip coming back from Toronto? They got the Warriors on deck, right? Rob, why is this? I know that Aaron Gordon will want to go in here and beat his own team, but Gary Harris is going to have something to say as well. I'd be looking at Gary Harris props going up against the Nuggets, and call me crazy, but I think that the Magic can keep this one close. This is a double-digit dog on the road day after Super Bowl Sunday. The Magic, the only way I could look in this one.
Yeah, and they've had their hands full so far, right? I mean, Phoenix destroyed them the other night, but that's Phoenix. And Denver, I think to your point about Denver, that 110 to 109 against Toronto was a game where, I mean, that's 100% effort for 48 minutes, because that game comes down to Jokic blocking a shot at the buzzer. I think Anunoby tried to win the game. Jokic blocked it. So that takes a lot out of you. The Nuggets aren't especially deep anymore. So, first game back after a game like that, you would think that maybe the energy isn't there. Even first half, I could see Orlando coming out and attacking Denver first half, and maybe get a nice price on first half. I mean, talent may wear out in the second half, but still, I don't know that I would be on the Nuggets here, even though Orlando's been beaten up pretty good a couple of times. They're another team that fairly young, trying to find themselves. They do get up and down a little bit, and on nights when they shoot it well, Cole Anthony and company, they can be a problem. They've got good bench play, so I don't know. I would stay away from Denver. I think Orlando first half would really be a good way to approach this one, because I just think Denver's going to come out of the blocks a little slow here after that Toronto game for reasons that you mentioned as well. Maybe it is a lethargic start because of Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, now a guy in the chat here saying Magic, Blazers, and Rockets all tanking. Bet against all, no matter what. Watch all three of those cover today. Watch all three of those that I've came on this show before and trashed some teams. Oh, this team is terrible. I remember saying it with the Kings and the Blazers. What happened that same day? They took my money. So as soon as you trash a team, that's when they come out and ball. They're catching a boatload of points, guys. That's what I want to say. When you're getting this many points, you're not saying they're going to win the game. Imagine, guys are tanking. All they need to do is be competitive. And it's crazy that you say that, Rob. The Magic have the fourth highest pace over the last 5 games.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at Magic plus 11 here. It's the only way that I could look, especially with the Warriors on deck. Much bigger game for the Nuggets. Magic here. That's the only way I could look. Plus the double digits. A road dog catching doubles after Super Bowl Sunday. Only way I could look. Let's go over here to the Utah. Go to the streets of Utah, to the mountain ranges of Utah, Rob. We got the Jazz laying 14.5. They may get Rudy Gobert back right now. This team is rolling. This is like the 6th straight game at the house. I know this is a road dog for the Rockets. I would like to say I lean that way, but the Jazz are not bet against right now, guys. I mean, you don't want to bet against them. They're rolling. What do you think about this, Rob? Gobert coming back in there, he shouldn't really mess up the flow. If anything, it should only help out their defense, right? If he is supposed to come back today, they've seen it the past couple of days. What you think about this one?
Yeah, I don't see any reason, Jay, and I'll go from the totals perspective, that this game doesn't get over. I mean, Houston overs have been so good to me all season long that I'll continue here, even if Rudy Gobert is back, because I don't know if Rudy Gobert is as much of a defensive force as he normally is in this style of game, where the floor is wide open, because Houston does nothing but speed up and down the floor. I mean, it is so funny how a coach's words in September can wind up being so true all the way through. Steven Silas, I remember him saying, our motto is play fast, shoot fast. And I mean, nothing's changed about that all season long. They're going through some tough times, but he's got a system implemented that they're just going to suffer some growing pains through. They score their share. They give up more than their share. This is the worst defense in the NBA by far. I mean, and to their credit, they're young. The communication isn't there between a bunch of young guys that hadn't played together. And I think this might be the youngest roster in the NBA. So I can't see it with all the shooters that Utah has at home against this defense. I'd look for them to get 120 or better, and I think Houston finds their way to 110 against Utah here, just because they do it all the time. It doesn't matter. They lose by 20, but they still find their way to big points. So I think over 230 is the way to go in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Can't wait to see what happens in this one. Looks like Gay is still out. Rudy Gay, Pascal questionable here. Now for the Rockets, who knows? I don't know what they're going to do with Schroeder. If I'm Schroeder, I don't want to play in Houston. I'm asking for a buyout. It does say that he and Bruno Fernando are questionable. Be interested to see what happens in this game. Let's see. So this is the 6th straight home game for the Jazz. I don't like, but it is the last game of their homestand as well before they play the Lakers in a couple of days. So it's a tough type of spot for me. I'm not laying 14 and a half, 15 points the day after Super Bowl. I'm just not doing it, especially with the home team. Like I said, I know I've been saying this over and over again, but this is another spot where I'm taking the points or I'm laying off the game. That's just me, guys. I always say, people in the chat, you go with your gut, man. Don't let anyone watch any show talk you off your play. You go with your gut. Go with what you like. Do your research as well. Hey, if you want to come in here for more points, go to yours. It's one thing, but don't let us talk you off your play. If you're real strong on something, go with your gut, guys. Last game up, Rob. We got the Clippers here versus the Warriors. This is one where a way fave that I'm looking at. I actually like the Warriors here, Rob. You got the Clippers coming off the little road trip, right? The Warriors, this in theory is a double revenge spot for the Clippers, but I'm watching this team versus my Mavs. Obviously, they lost the first one, then it won the second one. This team doesn't have a ton of offense right now, Rob, and their offense can get very stagnant as well, relying on guys like Reggie Jackson. I think if the Warriors come in here and bring their defense, they should be able to smash these guys again. The last thing up that I have to say, Paul George had 29 points, and so they played 2 times already this season. Paul George had 29 and 30 both times. Obviously, this time around, they won't have him. Norman Powell, he's going to be out for a while. So they got Covington, one addition over there, but they're really lacking offense off the bench here. You should get the Warriors here, want to smack these guys up, man. Maybe, hey, Clippers, LA, maybe they celebrating the big Rams win. But the Warriors, the only way I could look here, Rob.
Yeah, and I like what you said earlier, Jay, about go with your gut. Mm-hmm. Because everything I looked at statistically and what that told me, you should be playing the Clippers in this game, because I don't like the way the Warriors are playing their last few, and especially defensively, right? This was a team that was so good, defensive efficiency ranked in the top 3 all year long. And then all of a sudden, the last 3 games, it's like they've thrown that out the window. 111 to Utah, 116 they lost that game outright to the Knicks. Shameful. And then they give up 115 to the Lakers. But my gut tells me that they're coming with a big effort here. And that's where I have to, you get in this and you do this long enough. Sometimes feel is greater than the statistics, Jay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Feel can point you in the direction of cashing tickets. And I'm with you. What I notice about the Clippers, as well as them being a little bit stagnant second team, is that behind Reggie Jackson, there's no real point guard play on this team. And he has to go his 40 minutes. I think he went 40 minutes in that second game against Dallas. Warriors have good perimeter defenders. If they pressure him at all, I don't know where they're going to come up with their points, LA Clippers. They'd rather go slow. Golden State should speed up. I don't know. Call this a field game, but I do think Golden State gets right here and wins this game by 10 or more. So I would be, pretty comfortable. In fact, I already did lay 5.5 with Golden State.
You know what, Rob? I'm with you. It's like, what did I tell you this morning? I said, Rob, I'm not feeling all right. But I'm a Warrior. We're doing this fucking show. That's just what we're doing. I like the Warriors here, man. They're 9-3 against the spread last 12 in LA. They got way too much offense for these guys. It's simple. Even if they don't really bring the defense, way too much offense. Steph Curry and the guys getting going over Clips. First game home off a 3-game road trip. They're 1-7 against the spread last 8 home games versus a winning road team. And like I say, Warriors already won both meetings, even with Paul George out there. I'm with you. I think the Warriors get right here. I'm a Warrior. I like them today, Rob. Let's get into some free picks, man. As always, I always tell you guys, go check out WagerTalk, man. It's a lot of good stuff there. They have free plays as well. You don't necessarily have to buy plays, but if you want to, there's definitely some good cappers over there. Rob Veno, Ski Profit, Teddy Covers, Gianni the Greek, some damn good cappers, man. A vet team over there, Vegas guys, Vegas shot callers, right, Rob? Make sure you guys go check out the site.
Have you ever checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. All NBA Talk with J Money viewers who are new to WagerTalk can get a 1-day all-access pass to the handicapper of their choice for only $1 versus a regular price of $39 using coupon code J1 when checking out. Our new roster of experts is 25 deep, covering sports from around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is be a first-time WagerTalk customer. Go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, use coupon code J1 when checking out on a one-day all-access pass, and get a full day of picks for only $1.
Please go check them out, man. That's a damn good deal, Rob. You asked me. Full day of picks for $1. Go check them out. It's also $9 Monday. So if you have already signed up with the site, you can still go. Every Monday is $9 Monday. You get a full package. What's up, Rob? You like anything on today's card?
Yeah, I'm going to start real quick here I'm going to repeat the prop I said about Darius Baisley, because with Dort out, that's, odds makers haven't adjusted this guy's numbers. They're unfair. Mm-hmm. He should get over. I'll follow that with a second quick prop on Valanciunas for the Bulls with Levine out and against San Antonio, a game where I expect pace. His points, rebounds, assists, Jay, last 3 games have gone well over 40. He's generally, I haven't seen the number this morning, he's generally in the vicinity of 37.5 last week, 2 weeks. I think you get over there. For game stuff, I'm going to go with you. I like Portland here against Milwaukee. I just think this is one of those we don't really care types of games. Let's win it 118, 109, and, Portland with the 15 points gets home pretty easy. And the other one I like quite a bit here is the Detroit-Washington game over the total. I just think that's incorrectly priced for the way these two teams are playing right now and for the players that are going to be on the floor. I think they'll get into the 220s.
Hey, did they just say that Giannis is doubtful? Somebody just said, y'all can't be playing in the chat with that, man. Somebody's saying that Giannis is doubtful. We'll see what happens. I mean, me personally, man, I'm favoring the road teams today, guys. That's my angles on today's card. Favor the home team. So it just went to 13 for the Blazers. It's going down to 12.5, man. It's going down quick. But that's the only way I could look at it. Yeah, why would he play? Why? Right. They may lose this game outright, man. I just tried to hop on it real quick. They wouldn't let me. I like the Blazers. I like the Blazers with you, Rob. I like the Warriors as well, man. Some road teams that I'm looking at today. Pistons, Spurs, Blazers, Magic, Warriors, guys. I'm only looking at road teams today. I think it's a hidden angle in there with fading the home teams off of Super Bowl Sunday. Like I say, they're a little bit fat and happy. I'm liking these dogs on the road, guys. So you guys can do what you want. I'm here, even sick, sore throat, still doing the show, man. Y'all show some love. Hit the like button, subscribe, share this on Twitter as well. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Go follow Rob on Twitter at Rob Veno Sports. You can follow me as well at J Money is Money. We out, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Let's cash.